Hey guys, so just got out of my doctor's appointment. It is Wednesday, and so that's kind of like when they've been scheduling my appointments, although my appointment is Tuesday next week. If I make it, hopefully I will not be back for another appointment, but we shall see. So I just got out, no progress, kind of sitting at the same thing. For once, I actually took my lipstick or my foundation off my lips with some chapstick. I remember, so that I wouldn't look so crazy doing this update. But yeah, I was gonna hop on here beforehand and kind of talk to you guys a little bit about like symptoms and things like that, but I was running late today. My appointment was at 9:30 and I literally pulled into the parking lot like right at 9:30 because I left my phone at home. And so I was like, oh, it's one of those mornings, it's one of those days. So yeah, no progress, sadly. I was really hoping for something because I've been having a lot of contractions, a lot of pressure down there, and like the combination of the two has like just been kicking my butt. And so I was really hoping for some good news, at least some kind of progression, even if it was that like my effacement was more, or that like my cervix had dropped, something. I was just hoping for a little bit of something, but it's okay. My doctor walked into my room when because they were super busy today. The waiting room was like packed. I was so surprised they had us all sitting in there, but she walked in and she was like, I'm gonna be in here in just a sec, I haven't forgotten about you. And she was like, looked at my chart and she goes, you're still pregnant, how is this happening? Why is this happening? I was like, great question, I want to know the answer to. So we'll see. I'm really hoping that my due date's Monday, so I'm hoping maybe something will happen over the weekend, or maybe it won't. I did go to like 41 weeks in like 2 or 3 days with Eliana, so it's very likely that I could go to like 40 weeks in 2 or 3 days with him, or I could go, the whole 41 weeks again. We'll see. My kids are stubborn, obviously, and they really like being in my belly, so they don't like coming out, clearly. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna get home. I have to run over to like my work, go into the office instead of being at home today because they're doing a special project that I have to be a part of. So I've got to go do that. But when I get a free moment, I'm gonna hop on, give you an update on symptoms, because a few things have changed within this past week. And so I'm gonna give you an update on some symptoms and what's been going on, and we will go from there. All right, guys. So I am back. I am situated at home. I've been home for a little while now. Been working and getting stuff done. Had to like get back into just typical what my days are like, working here from home. I think I mentioned it earlier that I had to run to work really quick because we have a special project going on, and so I was helping out with that. So I came home, I showered real quick, and then I hopped on and started working. So I'm taking a quick break while I can to do my update for you guys. I am 39 weeks pregnant. I turned 39 weeks on Monday. And really, I'm kind of like sad that I'm at this point because I was really expecting to not like go into my 39-week appointment, and I don't think my doctor was expecting to see me there either, but it is what it is. I was there. It's okay. I'm still healthy. The baby is still healthy. That's all that matters. So everything went really good. I haven't not changed or made any kind of progression, so still sitting at about 2 centimeters. Same like an effacement and stuff like that, which I sat like that for a while with Eliana too, so it's not, I don't feel like it's something that you can necessarily like go off of. Like if you're going off of, looking up these videos for comparisons and like, oh, well, I'm at that same gestation and I'm only a centimeter and stuff like that. Things happen in the blink of an eye. Like you can go all day long and not feel anything, and then all of a sudden your contractions pick up and start happening in the middle of the night. Like that's just how this works, unfortunately. It's the waiting game, right? So we're all kind of just waiting, and so that's kind of where I'm at too at this point, is just waiting for something to happen. things have changed a little bit within this last week. So I had told my doctor, like, my sciatic nerve pain has returned with like a vengeance on me. Oh my gosh, it's been so bad. And it's like he'll move and he'll get in a certain spot and I can tell he's just like sitting on that nerve, and oh my gosh, the pain is just unreal. It hurts so bad and it will shoot down like through especially my left leg. And I was telling her, because I had this happen when I was in like my second trimester and I had talked to her about it then. And one thing she had told me to make sure I was careful with was, you know, like if I have stairs in the house that I have to walk up and down, or if like I'm getting in and out of a tall car or anything like that, just to be extra careful, because your legs can give out. And especially like if you're in the height of the pain. And so not the other day, it was probably like last week on like Thursday or something like that. I was walking up my stairs. Thankfully, I was holding onto the railing for once I listened. And my leg, it gave out on me, my left leg. And I was like, whoa, you know, like I don't think I would have fallen per se. But who knows, I could have if I hadn't actually been holding onto the railing like she had told me to do. So I was telling her about that and she was like, well, I'm glad that you listened to me. And I was like, yeah, I am too, because I probably would have landed like right on my belly, which of course would never have been a good thing. And then what I've had in combo, like, it's funny because I've almost had this back and forth between like 1 week I feel like I'm having the pressure down in my cervix, and then another week I feel like my contractions are heavier, and they've been bouncing back and forth off of one another. So like if I'm having really heavy pain in my cervix with like the lightning crotch feelings and things like that, I won't necessarily have a ton of contractions. Or if it's a week where I'm having a ton of contractions, then I don't necessarily get that like lightning crotch feeling all the time. And this past week, it's definitely been a combo of the two. Like I've been having a ton of pain and pressure down there, and then I've had a lot of contractions pick up too. And these past like 3 days, I want to say, that pretty much from the beginning of this week, because it's Wednesday today, I have had I've had contractions like every day. And my contractions were at a point where like I could go a day without getting any. And sometimes I might like get 1 or 2, but they've been these past 3 days, like I've been getting them every single day, and they haven't developed a pattern or anything, obviously, because like I wouldn't be here, I would have gone into labor, but they're happening. Like I'm actually having one right now. And so that, and then I've had a lot of pressure in my cervix, like a lot. Oh my gosh, it's been a little bit more intense than anything I've felt up until this point. And so that's been different. And I've been like crossing my fingers and going, okay, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? And nothing's happened. But it's okay. I feel like it's hopefully leading in that direction where like he's really getting to that point of, okay, it's almost time to happen. I have not had anything else crazy going on that I can think of, or any big changes, other than just like now I've had that combination of pressure in my cervix and contractions too. And like I said, for the past like 3 days, my contractions have been more like happening a little more frequently, I guess you could say. And I've actually had them a few days in a row, as opposed to, oh, I had them like for these 2 days, but then like I went, you know, a day and I really didn't have any or anything like that. His movement has decreased a little bit too, and I told my doctor about that, and she told me not to like freak out. She wasn't concerned about it because he's still active. He's just a very active baby. Like my whole pregnancy, he's been extremely, extremely active. Like from the time that I could actually start feeling him all the way through until now, he's been a very, very active baby, moving like crazy, doing all kinds of stretches and things like that. And these past like 2 days, he just hasn't been as active. So still getting movements, which not to where I'm like, okay, what's going on? I don't feel my baby moving at all. I still feel him. It's just not like, I mean, I swear sometimes I would think this kid would never sleep, like at all, because it was just constant moving all the time. I would maybe get like a 30-minute break or an hour, if even that, and then it'd be like moving all over again. And so he went like last night. He's normally really active at night when I'm sitting down on the couch and Caleb and I are like, you know, kind of relaxing and unwinding from the day. Is when he like goes crazy and starts moving all around. All my stomach goes all different ways and stuff like that. But last night he didn't do that, and it was kind of weird. And I thought about it, and then like we get into bed, I went and I took a shower, and We got into bed and it was already like midnight at this point, but that was when he decided to finally start like moving and doing everything. So I was like, oh kid, what am I in for when you get here with my nights? But it's okay. I was glad that I finally felt him. And then he was pretty active this morning, and he's been a little more like active today. So not anything that she said I needed to be concerned with, but I did notice that. And so that was also like an indicator for me to where I was like, well, I wonder if in combination with everything else, if it's about time. But we'll see. It's a waiting game at this point. She asked me when I was there if I wanted to be induced or schedule anything. I told her no. She was like, oh yeah, that's right, you're one of my waiters. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to force him to come when it's not his time yet. And the thing that I'm having to remind myself of is, because there's so, and if any of you out there are like as far along as I am, or, you know, even in like your 35, 36 week mark, like it gets to a point to where people are constantly asking you like, oh, you're still pregnant, or, oh, you know, I can't believe you haven't had the baby yet, or, oh, you know, stuff like that. And I don't believe there's any ill intentions meant by it or anything, at least not from the people who I've heard it from. I know from them, there's no like ill will that's meant from it or anything like that. It's just, you know, they can't believe that I'm still pregnant. And so it gets a little disheartening. And the same thing happened to me when I was pregnant with Eliana. You know, like I got to the end of my pregnancy and left and right, all I ever heard was, oh, there's no way you're gonna make it to your due date. And oh my goodness, like you're gonna have her any day now. And I went to 41 weeks and like 2 days pregnant. And so don't be discouraged if like you're hearing that kind of stuff and it's not happening. And I have to keep reminding myself of that, because, you know, my doctor today, she had told me, I can't believe you're still pregnant, and like it would be really odd if you wound up going past your due date since this is your second baby. And I'm like, yeah, but technically, even if he were to go past my due date and I didn't hit the 41 week mark, that would still be early for me, because I went to over 41 weeks when I was pregnant with my daughter. So early for me, as somebody who went past my term last time, would be still going past my due date and just not going until like a 41 week mark, like I did with my daughter. So I could hit my due date and have him when I'm like 40 weeks and 2 days pregnant, and that would still, for me, be early, you know? And especially like with first time moms, you're really likely to go past your due date. I know it's not what anybody wants to hear, but they can be so off with how they calculate your due date, because they don't, again, like, and it's something I talked about before, like they don't calculate your due dates based on when you actually conceived or on like a day when you might have ovulated. They base it off of the first day of your last cycle. So it's actually a really odd system in the way that they're calculating like due dates and stuff like that. So I'm trying very hard not to like beat myself up about it, because it's out of my hands and there's nothing I can do, you know. And that's been something that's talked about across the board by multiple doulas, labor nurses, things like that, is there's really no magical way to induce labor. Like, you just gotta wait until the baby's ready to come out. You can walk, you can squat, you can get on birth balls, you can try everything under the sun, but there's no proven method out there that's gonna throw you into labor. And so I have to remind myself about that, and like not to overdo it with some of the things that I have been doing, because I don't want to wear myself out so much that when labor rolls around, I'm like dying tired. But at the same time, you know, there are things that you can do to just help prep and get your body ready for labor. And I think that's my mentality, and where I'm at right now is I'm not doing things to try to get labor going. I'm doing things to help prep and get my body ready to handle what I'm about to go through and having a baby. So walking is definitely something that we've been doing, not as frequently as we probably should, but been trying to get a walk in a day. Yesterday we went like 1.3 miles or something like that, Caleb had said, and we did pretty much the same route the day before. And so one of the greatest things about walking is that it creates movement, which is good for the baby. It can help get them in the position they need to be in, as far as like helping them drop and stuff like that. And then it also helps with building your stamina to handle labor and whatnot. And so doing things like that, getting on my birth ball to try and like, again, just help coax him into the right position so that his head's the way it needs to be for when I'm delivering and whatnot. So these are all the reasons behind me doing what I'm doing. Before, yes, it was definitely in the hopes of like getting labor going, but it's my mind, I've had to make that mental shift and just saying, all right, you know, I have no control over this. It's gonna happen whenever he's meant to come into the world. And until then, I'm just gonna do what I can to help prep and get myself ready for when the time comes for him to actually be here, and to make sure that I'm well equipped to handle labor in the first place. And that's what I would encourage all of you guys to do. Don't freak yourself out and don't stress out. Your baby will come when they're ready, you know, like they're on their own time clock. And just like they will be when they actually get into the world, they're gonna be on their own time clock too, and you just kind of gotta roll with it and make the best of it. And that's what I'm trying to remind myself and trying to do right now. Do I have my impatient moments? Of course I do. I'm not perfect. And I definitely have those moments where I'm like, why am I still pregnant? But with all that being said, I'm really trying very hard to restructure and reframe my mind to be in the place of he's gonna come when he's meant to, he's gonna come when he needs to, and until then, I'm just gonna do everything in my power to make sure I am ready for it and that we're ready to go. But like I was saying, that's gonna be it for today, you guys. I hope that you are staying safe. I'm sending so many prayers your way for all my pregnant mamas out there. That you have wonderful, safe deliveries, that you and baby are healthy at the end of it. Please subscribe if you are not already. Definitely give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And until next time, I will see you guys later.